there are many useful engines on the island of Sodor. There was only one red engine on the Fat Director's railway, and that red engine is James. He is typically your average smug that can be in vain. James is best known for being a show-off. He also likes being the center of attention. Since James is red, the other engines feel jealous. James was feeling annoyed that the Barrow soccer team had lost the game due to a small mishap. One morning, James was at the shunting yard surveying the area for coaches. Ugh. What does an engine have to do to get some coaches around here? Ah, here you are, James. Donald was bringing some very shiny half-cream, half-red coaches. Oh, yes. Nice and shiny. Just the way I like them. I hear the Barrow soccer team lost yesterday. Ain't that a small mother? Oh, yeah. The Soto United won the game with flying colors. However, I do give the team credit that I forgot the Barrow team. But nonetheless, that was the previous day, like you mentioned. I hope nothing goes wrong today. It was pleasing to say that James handled the coaches steadily for a start. It wasn't long when he reached Knapford that he simply didn't think about what he did. Uh-oh! You overshot the platform, James. Oh yeah, Philip. Sometimes I'm just too fast for my own good. The Fat Director was glaring at James several platforms away. James then pretended he didn't see the Fat Director and carried on with the passenger run. Similar to Edward, James is a mixed traffic engine. This means he is equally good at pulling goods trains as well as passenger trains. James only prefers passenger trains and wishes that was what he did all the time. However, when he reached Wellsworth, things got a little tense. Ta-da! How was that for a stop, eh? Not very good, you rusty red scrap iron. What? I didn't overshoot the platform this time, didn't I? Well, no, James, you undershot it. Look where you pulled up! The passengers grumbled and complained and thought what a bad railway it was. The station master was fuming. Would you stop showing off and move forward, please? And James did just that. He pulled into the platform the proper way and let everyone out. Then James smugly raced away like the wind and was gone in a flash. I should have a word with the Fat Director. This is getting out of hand. But James didn't listen to the station master's comment. He didn't let one of those people bother him, and continued showing off for the rest of the day. Every time he passed the other engines and some workmen, they were feeling rather annoyed. Nothing can stop me now! But as he pulled into Knapford Station, there was the Fat Director. He was very red indeed. James, I had enough complaints about you all day, and the passengers were saying what a bad railway this is. Pfft, the passengers are just being silly and stupid, sir. Honestly, James, we have to look after our passengers. As a matter of fact, after all this trouble you caused today, as well as an extra large order confusion and delay, I think it's high time you changed your attitude. James gulped. And until you do, I'm taking your coaches away. That night at Knapford Sheds, the engines were getting ready for a rest. Thomas backed into the berth. What's up with you, James? Nothing. The Fat Director says I need to change my attitude. Then Duck spoke up. He's right, James. No, he's not. What's wrong with my attitude? Look at that pouty face. No one's better at making a pouty face than James. All the engines made weird faces at James. This made James more disturbed than ever. Percy felt bad and tried to stop the teasing. Never mind, James. Whatever is bothering you, we'll probably see better in the morning. But the next morning, everything remained the same. Nothing changed at all. James. What? Sir. Don't you remember what I said about changing your attitude? You don't expect me to let you pull passengers with a face like that, now do you? Don't you want a job today? Very well, you can stay here then, in the shed. The fat director muttered away, and Duck stared at James. Why don't you just apologize and stop being so grumpy all the time? It's no fun sitting in a roundhouse day in and day out. The engines began teasing again. James was disturbed. All the engines were happily doing their work and being useful. The clean sky brushed the engine's funnels. However, it wasn't much fun sitting in the shed doing nothing. James was fuming as he saw one of the engines passing the roundhouse. Oh, that silly fat director. What's wrong with my attitude? I was only trying to do my best and be really useful. Then, the fat director came back again, and James tried to put things right. I know you're still mad about earlier, and that was really disgraceful for me to cause trouble. I'm sorry about earlier, sir. I really would like a job today. Very well, James, but I expect you to be on your best behavior and no more sulking. Yes, sir. Of course not, sir. I'll be on my best behavior. But when James arrived at the yard, he was horrified. Waste trucks? Smelly waste trucks? Why can't I take those lovely clean coaches again? Donald and Douglas heard James comment as they were passing by. Those coaches are for Edward's trade. Fat director's orders. James wasn't having a good day. He was stuck with goods work. It took him ages to get to Kildane Yard, and even longer to get back to the shunting yard. But still, he didn't have any coaches to pull. When James arrived at the docks, the fat director appeared on the platform at a nearby warehouse. He was more annoyed than ever. James, what on earth is wrong with you today? Going around in a sulk and taking far too long, taking goods from point A to B. Why can't you just change your attitude, young steam engine? Because I'm all out of patience! Everybody was shocked, including the fat director. He turned and walked away. Just change your attitude, James. I don't care how much patience you have. Stanley and Thomas arrived at the docks shortly after the fat director left. They were feeling cheeky. Come on, James, lighten up. Just then, Big Mickey spoke up. What a face. I wouldn't want to look like that, unlike Cranky over there. No one's better at making a pouty face than James, replied Thomas. So come on, stop teasing! So Thomas and Stanley started to make weird faces. Eventually, a few minutes later, James managed to build up a smirk. That's it, said Stanley. You are changing your attitude. What Stanley said was correct. James was no longer feeling grumpy and did all the goods work without any more fussing around. Eventually, James got his coaches back, and he couldn't be any more proud. A few days later came the day of the annual masquerade ball at Callan Castle. The fat director had given James the job of taking him and the mayor to the event that night. So without hesitation, James did all his regular jobs without any complaints. Not even one complaint came out of James that day, until later on, things got ugly. James was taking some salt wagons through Kronk Station until he was diverted onto a siding and nearly crashed into a set of buffers. Nothing serious happened, but a salt wagon just behind James's tender broke, and his tender was covered with salt. James wasn't happy about the crash, but he kept himself from losing his temper. James was still smiling as he went about his work. He got more dirtier in the process due to some coal trucks blasting dust at James as he was running steadily on the track. It was almost sundown, and James went for a wash. And that was when things turned from good to ugly in under 30 seconds. Oh dear, this does not look good. What is it? You have a small scratch on your paintwork. It's nothing, really. Oh, a scratch. That's no big... Wait, what? A scratch? That is far from nothing! I cannot take the mayor with a line drawn on my paint. I need to get it off quickly. James was frantic. He was attempting to cover up his scratch. He dashed like the wind, but some debris became attached to James's wet paint. He raced through a long tunnel, but the debris would not come off. Eventually, James had to take a pit stop in a siding at Marin, when Edward approached him. I'm glad you were able to complete your usual jobs today, James, but I'm surprised that you were covered in debris. Can I ask you something really serious? Can you take the mayor to the masquerade ball at Callan Castle for me? I would be happy to take over, James, so you could have some time to get a well-needed wash down. Edward had went to pick up the fat director and the mayor of Sodor at Knapford. He made his way to Callan Station a few minutes before the masquerade ball began. The following morning, James was in the sheds when the fat director approached him. I see you had someone else to take us to the masquerade ball when we were expecting you to appear. What happened? Sorry, sir. After I had finished all my work and went to get cleaned up, there was a scratch on my paintwork. I didn't want anyone to see any scratches on my paintwork, so I tried to cover it up. Well, you could have just ignored it. That scratch wasn't a really big deal. Anyways, I am sending you to get repainted. You'll look brand new, right out of a wood package. Please don't mention that horrid rebrand of the Thomas Wood Railway Merchandising. That rebrand gave us wood surfaces, and we hardly ever have any paint on the wood. All humans in that merchandise range are crude 3D figurines, not like the good ones from the Bachman or Hornby. Oh, right. Gotcha. After James's repaint, the mayor of Sodor felt bad for that James was unable to attend the masquerade ball at Callan Castle. To make up for it, he asked James to take him to a birthday party at Vickerstown. James was very pleased. As James left Knapford on the night of the party, he felt a warm applause from his surroundings. It is always special to have a birthday party, but that's a story for another day.